So, folks, we are joined by Shaan Patel. He's the prep expert CEO and also Shark Tank winner in the United States. He's a board certified dermatologist and number one best selling author. And as we prepare to delve into our conversation on the topic at hand, from Motel to Millions, Shaan's personal story of entrepreneurship, here's an exciting twist. First, let us tickle his brain. So, Shaan, get ready for a rapid fire round of random words. I'll mention a few. Whatever comes to your mind in response, you have to share that without thinking much. If you're ready, let's get started.
Let's do it.
Okay, here comes the first word: curiosity.
Brainiac.
Invention.
Thomas Edison.
Future.
Elon Musk.
Book.
Me.
Movie.
The Pursuit of Happiness.
Aliens.
Elon Musk.
Universe.
Stars.
Imagination.
Albert Einstein.
Role model.
My father.
And the last one is success.
Mark Cuban.
Awesome. And thank you so much for participating in the first rapid fire round so sportively. Really appreciate it. And there is one more rapid fire round waiting towards the end of the episode. And before I welcome you formally to the show, let me welcome the audience. So, folks, hearty welcome to TGV, the Guiding Voice podcast series, where we embark on transformative conversations for a better future. I'm your host, Naveen Samala, dedicated to making the world a better place through valuable discussions that add value not only to your life, but also to your career. And thank you so much for tuning in. Shaan, hearty welcome to TGV. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, pleasure to host you, Shaan. And let's get the ball rolling. We'll begin with your success mantra. So please share with us top 3 things that have contributed to your success so far.
Yeah, the 3 things that I think have contributed to my success have included hard work, resilience, bouncing back from failure, and dedication, just really being dedicated to helping others.
Wow. That's spot on. And Shaan, can you also talk about the toughest lessons that you have learned in your entrepreneurial journey?
Yes. One of the toughest lessons that I've learned in my entrepreneurial journey is that you will always fail. So there is no successful entrepreneur that has not failed. And so I've gone through a lot of failure throughout my entrepreneurial career, including getting rejected by 100 book agents and publishers, including my business almost failing right before it started, including almost all the sharks rejecting me on Shark Tank in the beginning before one finally made a deal. And it's not about how many times you fail, it's about how you are resilient to failure in order for you to be successful.
So it's not how many times you fall down, but it's all about getting up, right? And yeah, I think that's a great story of resilience, and I love it. And thank you for sharing that. And now let's talk about your background. Okay, your journey from being an average, standardized test taker to achieving a perfect SAT score. What strategies did you employ to overcome test anxiety and also to improve your performance?
Yeah, so, I was like many students in that I was a really good student in high school, got A's and B's, but I was not a very good standardized test taker. I was not naturally good at these exams. And so I spent hundreds of hours in the library studying, learning different techniques, trying different things on practice exams. And so I was able to compile that into a notebook, which eventually turned into my book and my strategies and my courses. So there are so many different strategies you can use, but one that works well for me in order to reduce my test anxiety is on the digital SAT, for example, is what I do is we hide the timer for our students to avoid a ticking time clock from showing up on the screen. And that's really helpful because a lot of students get a lot of stress and anxiety when they see, I only have 10 minutes left, I only have 5 minutes left, and they're trying to work on these hard problems. So that's just a simple one for test anxiety that's worked really well for my students.
And Shaan, I think you have achieved $500,000 in scholarship, right? And which is not an easy thing, especially transitioning from an inner city public school to elite Ivy League universities, which is a quite a leap. So, how did your educational background shape your perspective on success and entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so it's really important the $500,000 in scholarships that I won because without it, I would have had to take on a lot of student debt. And in the United States, as everyone knows, college is more expensive than ever. When I was going to school, tuition at this university I went to was $50,000 a year. So we were looking at about $250,000 over 4 years of university. And so the way that that shaped my perspective now is as an entrepreneur, is I really try to help students raise their test scores in order to be eligible for merit-based scholarships. So we've had students win over $1 million in scholarships, 500,000 like myself, 250,000, $100,000. And that's really life changing because now they can go to universities they likely could not have gone to before. So it's really a passion of mine. And I'm actually, we've helped students win over $100 million in college scholarships. Now I'm on a mission to help students win $1 billion in scholarships.
Got it. And you mentioned that you were rejected by multiple sharks before Mark Cuban has come forward, right? So can you share me the backstage experience of Shark Tank briefly?
Yeah, so the experience of Shark Tank is amazing, totally life-changing for myself and my business.
Hmm.
I will say though, I was overconfident going into Shark Tank. I thought I was going to get multiple offers. I thought I had a great business, that everyone would love me. But the reality of it was I was also in medical school at the time that I was pitching on Shark Tank, and I was becoming a doctor. And the sharks did not like that. They did not like that I was both in school as well as an entrepreneur at the same time. They thought I
Hmm.
wasn't dedicated, and so they all rejected me. But at the last moment, Mark Cuban came in, saved the day, offered me $250,000 for 20% equity in the company, and he's been an amazing investor, advocate, and partner for the company ever since.
Super. And if we take a step back, I think you started with just $900 from your college dorm room to becoming a Shark Tank entrepreneur. And partnering with Mark Cuban itself is an incredible achievement, right? So, can you walk us through the early days of building your business? What happened after $250,000 were invested, and what are the key milestones that have propelled your success?
Yeah. So in the very beginning, when I started with just a $900 website for my company, prepexpert.com, that's literally what I spent the money on. The $900 was building a website because I didn't know how to do it. And then paying some SEO companies to help us rank on Google to help us get our first customers. We got our first 18 students. And then when I taught them on our SAT courses, they had an average score improvement of nearly 400 points.
Wow.
That's when I began training other instructors to teach my curriculum. And then I used the investment from Mark Cuban to expand the company into multiple cities, to expand it online. With the pandemic, we went fully online. So now we only offer online SAT, ACT courses and tutoring at prepexpert.com. And it's been incredible to really get in front of Shark Tank was amazing because I got in front of 10 million people. And so that helped generate a lot of leads in business and sales.
Super. And as a Shark Tank entrepreneur, what lessons did you learn from pitching to investors like Mark Cuban? And now, since he has invested, right, I think you must be learning from him almost during every interaction. And how do you apply those lessons in your work?
Yeah. So, I think one of the biggest lessons for people who are looking to raise capital or raise investment is you have to have proof of concept or proof in numbers. A lot of people try to pitch investors with just an idea, but if you haven't actually brought it to market, if you haven't tested it, if you haven't actually made some sales, it's very hard to get an investor to invest in an idea. So I would say if you have an idea, I would try to make some sales because that's what will impress investors. Okay, I have this many sales or maybe this many users. If it's too expensive to create your product or service, try getting surveys to show that people are actually interested. So you have to have proof. A lot of, I think it's a big mistake if you try to pitch investors on just an idea.
And are there any other tips to those who wish to get funded from Shark Tank?
Yeah, so if you want to go on a show like Shark Tank, I attended an open call casting call audition. So you can also do that online. So they have open calls where they go to different cities and they interview different entrepreneurs. So I gave a 1 minute pitch to a casting call producer. You can attend one of those. But if it's not near a city near you, you can also submit a video audition about your business and why you should be on Shark Tank. So I also submitted one of those after my open call. So that's really the path. It's very competitive to get on, but if you do get on, it can be completely life changing for you and your business.
Super. Thank you for sharing that. And Shan, your latest book, Prep Expert Digital SAT Playbook, right? It aims to help students navigate standardized testing. And what inspired you to create this resource, and what do you hope students will gain from it?
Yeah, so I'm really excited about my latest book, Prep Expert Digital SAT Playbook, Winning Strategies to Achieve Your Dream Score. And so what I did with this playbook is I fully updated it for the new 2024 digital SAT because for the first time in 100 years, the SAT went from a paper test to a digital one. And so it's a big change to the exam. On top of that, there are new question types, new format, and new content. And so students really need to be familiar with this new version of the SAT. So that's what I created this manual and these strategies to help students with that. And what's really nice about it is you can buy the Kindle version for under $10. And so I really wanted to make my elite level strategies that, our courses sometimes cost $1,000. If you can't afford that, you can literally go get a $10 book and learn some of our best strategies through the book.
And a personal question from my side. I think you got featured on Entrepreneurs on Fire podcast with the John Lee Dumas, right? How was that experience?
Oh, he's great. Yeah. It was really fun. One of the top podcasts for entrepreneurs in the world. What I like about John as a podcast interviewer is he's an entrepreneur himself.
Yeah.
And so he can really understand. And we had some debate. For example, I remember I said, I'm okay sleeping 6 hours a night if I have to. And he was like, absolutely not. He really believed in 8 hours of sleep a night. And so what that shows you though is every entrepreneur is different, right? People will grind kind of like me and work super, 18-hour days. And some people are like, no, I need to get my 8 hours of sleep to be effective.
Yeah.
But there's no one recipe out there. Take advice from different people, see what works for you as a person, because everyone's different.
Absolutely agreed. And probably something which might work for me might not work for others. And I think that's a great source of truth. And this has been fabulous conversation so far, and it's time for us to add some more excitement and some more spice to the episode. So if you are ready, I'll kick off the second rapid fire round.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, here comes my first bullet out of second rapid fire round. So if you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
I would say create your dream life around what's important to you.
Create your dream life around what is important to you. Super powerful. And complete this phrase 3 times. Never have I ever.
Never have I ever succeeded without failing first.
2 more.
Two more? Okay. Never have I ever been on Shark Tank and not gotten a deal. And never have I ever released a book without spending at least 1,000 hours trying to perfect it for my readers.
Wow. It again talks about resilience as well as persistence that you have demonstrated. And Shaan, can you describe yourself in just one word?
One word. I would say self-control.
Self-control. And given a chance, who would you like to swap your life with for a day, and why?
I would love to swap my life with Mark Zuckerberg. And why is because he controls some of the most important media platforms on this earth, including Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And so to know and understand all that data would be pretty amazing.
Yeah. Good one. And if you were given funding of your choice, which business do you want to build from scratch?
Ooh, what business would I want to build from scratch? I would love to create a dermatology AI company. That would be super interesting to me because I think that I have experience in dermatology and I love this new kind of frontier we're on with AI. And I think there's a lot of applications where you can diagnose and treat skin conditions using video and images using AI. So it'd be super interesting to me.
Good one. And here comes the last bullet out of the second rapid fire round. What is one electronic gadget that you'd like to see or invent yourself?
Oh, electronic gadget. I really think the Apple Watch needs to have more health features. So being able to have your glucose, your check for diabetes, blood pressure, and really turn it into a fully health, whether it's Apple Watch or any other smartwatch, I should say, be more health oriented.
Good one. And I thoroughly enjoyed the responses for the second rapid fire round questions. And let's flip back to the mainstream. And here comes the last but one question. Like, given your background and expertise, what advice would you offer to aspiring entrepreneurs and students looking to excel academically and also professionally?
I'd say for entrepreneur, so I'll start with entrepreneurs and then students. So for
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, I would say focus on product value.
Mm-hmm.
So many advice you hear out there is around marketing and strategy. None of that matters if your product or your service sucks because the customers will not like it. You'll get bad feedback. And so what you need to do is spend a lot of time making your product or your service as good as possible so that people have a good experience and tell other people about it and there's good word of mouth. So that's my number one thing. Number two, for students, work hard in school and go to college, get a degree. And the reason that's important is one, you'll have backup plan in case entrepreneurship or business doesn't work out
Yeah.
because a lot of people fail. And then number two is, working hard in school and dedicating yourself to studying, going to class, doing well on tests. That develops in you these skills of time management, hard work, dedication, self-control, delayed gratification, all of these important habits for success and for entrepreneurship. So if you get those habits in school, you'll have those habits as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, and you'll be much more likely to succeed.
Such a profound advice, and I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. This has been great interview. And how is your experience being hosted on TGV, the Guiding Voice podcast?
Yeah, Naveen, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it. I thought there were some unique questions. I've been on a lot of podcasts and I haven't heard many of the ones you've asked before. So it was a lot of fun. And for any parents and students out there who are interested in SAT or ACT courses, definitely check out my website, prepexpert.com. If you're an aspiring entrepreneur, I even have a book for you called Self Made Success. You can find it on Amazon. And connect with me on social media. You can find me at Shaan Patel,
Yeah.
Shaan, last name Patel.
Yeah. So, for those of you who are watching or listening this episode, you'll find all the links in the show notes or the episode description. So, go ahead and connect with Shaan and change your life. All right. So, Shaan, thank you so much for being part of the journey. And I'm looking forward to hosting you again in future. And I wish you all the very best on everything that you do.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Naveen. This was a lot of fun. Appreciate it.
Yeah, pleasure to have you. And friends, that was our episode with Shaan Patel. And before we jump into the fun trivia section, we have a quick request. In case if you haven't already subscribed to TGV, the Guiding Voice podcast, please subscribe to our podcast from wherever you have tuned in so that you will be in the know of the things that are happening at TGV with amazing guests across the globe. And also, if you have enjoyed this conversation and found it useful, please consider sharing with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues who would also like TGV, the Guiding Voice. So spread the knowledge and help others grow just like you. Now let's hop into the trivia segment of today's episode. Having spoken to a Shark Tank winner, I thought I would present you a few less known facts about Shark Tank. First one is about background negotiations. And while Shark Tank portrays negotiations between entrepreneurs and sharks as occurring solely during the pitch, in reality, discussions often take place off camera before and after the presentation, and these pre and post pitch negotiations can significantly impact the final deals struck between the entrepreneurs and sharks. Second is about equity deals versus royalties. While equity deals are more commonly showcased on the show, Shark Tank also features agreements structured as royalty deals, and in these arrangements, entrepreneurs agree to pay the sharks a percentage of their sales rather than giving up equity in their company. And this less conventional approach to investment provides entrepreneurs with alternative funding options tailored to their business models. And third is about post show due diligence. After reaching a verbal agreement on the show, the deals between the entrepreneurs and the sharks are contingent upon successful due diligence, and this process involves thorough examination and validation of the entrepreneur's claims, financials, and business operations. And consequently, not all deals made on air ultimately materialize into formal partnerships, as some may fall through during the due diligence phase. So that's it from my side for today's episode, and especially on the facts, less known facts about Shark Tank. And folks, I would love to hear your comments and feedback about the episode. What did you like most about the conversation, and what kind of topics do you want me to cover in the future? And likewise, if you have any guest speaker recommendations, also do let me know. You can reach out to me through social media, or you can also email us at theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com. 4 as in digit 4 and you as in letter U. And let's create content that resonates with you. That's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in and also for being part of our awesome TGV family. I'm your host, Naveen Samala, a lifelong learner, and my goal is to have impactful conversations that improve not only your life but also your career. And until next time, take care, stay inspired, and remember, the future holds great things because the best is yet to come. Goodbye for now. See you all in the next episode with another amazing guest.